Okay, to grandmother's house we go. This is Evelyn here from Twin Flames 3344. I have a Divine Masculine Twin Flame read. It is pretty intense for the most amazing and the most triggering. So if you don't feel like being triggered right now, you may not want to watch, but it was pretty amazing. So I'm going to get right into it. It is July 26, 2019. And before I started this, because something I watched triggered my stomach a little bit this morning, I kept feeling into that, to release it, and I saw my red, I guess it's my blueprint, but I was trying to remember it so I could actually write down the details of the mandala so I could remember what it looked like. So I got some of it, but I'm hoping I'll get some more of it so I can get the full thing eventually. My vision isn't as clear as some others of you. For me, it's more of my clairsentience and claircognizance that I really rely on. So that was kind of cool for me. But I noticed that it had, around the circle, the flower had 24 parts, which was very cool, that I was able to count them actually. And that was at 11:55 today. It had, it was definitely, when I was clearing, getting the magenta colors first, and then the green. So I was being guided to tell you guys too, use the magenta to clear first and then use the green to heal as well. But it's like the magenta clears out the, the energy layers first, and then the green can go in more for the physical body stuff. So, wow. Intense one today. I have to tell you, I already cried in the middle of it. So that's why I'm warning you, you might purge. But it's definitely worth getting through it if you're up to it. All right, so the Sirian Starseed deck was cut at 12:17. 12:21, the numerology cards were done. I don't usually write down all the decks, but today I was guided to write down that 12:21. And just as a reminder, I use the Sirian Starseed is the main deck for the read, and the clarifying decks are the Rider-Waite Mini, the Golden Universal, which is the one that has the foily look, and then the Gilded Tarot, and the Tarot Sexual Magic, and the Romance Angels, as well as my numerology deck. So those are all the decks there. At 12:24, so 24 came up again, I got Rendering Services, Irreconcilable Differences. Okay, so that was before I actually finished the read. So 12:17, 12:21, and 12:24, and right before I started the video, where I do a little affirmation before I start, I was losing my voice already. So this is major for me. The read was done at 12:38 to 39, which was beautiful. 12 is the Hanged Man, in honor of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, and the 38 and 39 are the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups, which happens to be my soul number and my twin soul number. So that was kind of special for me today. The major arcana was the only major arcana today in the read. In the main cards is the shadow, or the devil. So it was very much about that on the code line as well. The numbers that came up on the code line were 1, 5, which equals 6, and it's 15, 6 of the devil again. No other cards were before the read, but after the read, the Tower and Reason, which is the Emperor, came up. The Tower was reversed energy today, so it wasn't at full power today. And let's see, there was 1 wand, 3 cups, 1 sword, and 5 pentacles. So really weighty on the pentacles there. So he's really working hard, I guess, to finish up something. But there's 3 cups, which is great. 3 cups and 5 pentacles. So putting his love into his work, which is amazing. The court cards were Knight of Swords and Page of Pentacles. And before the read were the Knight of Pentacles and the King of Swords. So the King of Swords, Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, and the Page of Pentacles, okay? So as we get into it, and the shadow then would be all about Capricorn energy, okay? The South Node and all that, and all the different aspects that will be happening in the next year or two with Capricorn. The numbers here were, besides the 1, 5, and 6, or the 15 and the 6, were 55, again, 22, which is the Fool, 55 is the Ace of Swords, the Truth, The number 10 of the Wheel of Fortune again, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3. Those are the sequences that came up. 1, 2, 3, jump. 5, 6, 7, 8, lay them straight, which actually resonates with the read today. And the missing numbers from there were 4 and 9, which are my lucky numbers. And 49 is the 9 of Cups. Get your wish card. So the message here, the card that it was all around was surrender from the numerology deck, but the S and the U were covered today. I don't usually cover those letters, or I don't allow them to be covered, but today I went with it to see what happened. And so the message here about surrender and everything today, oh, the other number was 13, 15, which is death and the devil, 13 and 15. So that was reiterating the devil again and the death of the full transformation, and that you need the shadow to go through all of that. So the message about surrender, and DE was also coming up, so Delaware for some, and I want to give you those definitions real quick before I get into the message here. Deere and Company was the company that came up for DE, which by the way was $170.29 today. .de is the German domain. Also it means defensive end, Dionysius Earth, and Doctor of Engineering, as well as reversal of things, remove, get off, what did I write there? Reduce. So it's the opposite of whatever the word is, you know. So that's the D, right? And also having a molecule characterized by removing or removal of one or more atoms of an element. So taking away an atom. Okay, so atoms being taken away because he's needed somewhere else. From, down, and away also came up for the definition, as well as a light. Dionysius Earth came up as a light, friable, siliceous material derived chiefly from dianthum. And it was funny because I was getting light underlined, of course, and then friable, and we were in the frying pan yesterday. And then for salacious, I was getting silly, like light, friable, and that could be like friar tuck too, and silly. Silly material derived chiefly from dianthum. So I'm not sure what that is. But then I'm getting anthem, which is funny because I was practicing some of my music last night, and one of my songs has the anthem in it. It's actually a song I wrote for my mother. So the national anthem might come up as well for you guys. And that dianthum remains and is used especially as a filter, so a filtering device. Also can be, it's very good as an initial assault because it's good at killing the small colonies but not the big ones, right? So it's good for a local assault as opposed to a universal assault. So the message was coming up, and there's a couple different words in here. Ma definitely came up, as well as the shadow is in the coding. And 5, so 5 can be lots of different things. It can be the Hierophant, it can be change, expansion, it can be freedom, amongst other things, competition, all that kind of thing. Also, I got one eye today. You know how yesterday I got 2 eyes with the line on the far side, so they were looking, if they're looking at me, they were looking to the right. Well, today I only have one of those eyes there. Okay, so that could be referencing the third eye. But also there's some other stuff that came up here. Also, aid is coming up, and addy as well. That comes up a lot because it's part of the adept word. So ADE or ADI was coming up, so it's a lot of people's nickname. And also tea, so the drink tea, but also nicknames for tea, as Teresa and things like that. So I was getting, it's a tad late, and then I got hot toddy, which actually came up yesterday as well. Ma, with one eye, and third eye, oracle. So I was getting like a mother who is, someone's masculine may actually have a mother who is a psychic person, or an oracle, okay, and could be related to a church and not to, you know, the alternative ways of being awake. I mean, someone, you know, because in church there can be people who do light language as well, so she could be in that sense, but in a religious way. The Hierophant and the devil came up, And D, surrender, but also render, de-render, and deranged came up. Toggle up after death. I am mother first. So for the masculines, if he's alone and taking care of kids, he's the mother first. He's saying with only one eye. So whether some masculines may only have the use of one eye, but also can be only one eye available for the feminine, because he's got to take care of the kids first, because he's mother first, and that he maybe can't see at night after the 5 o'clock shadow. So whether they have vision issues, or because they had to be home for the kids after 5. It's like 5 o'clock shadow, it's time to go home. So let's see, was there anything else? Yeah, T, so T and aids. T, or so there might be a kind of T that aids the mother. A masculine's mother may actually have helped their own vision using a certain T to expand their shadow, to be able to see a little bit more. Or maybe the other way, expanding their darkness actually. So it can go either way, but acing vision issues was definitely coming up here, and going to the for your eye checkups and your dental checkups came up yesterday, so that's important here. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. The freedom, I was also getting that there may be a mother here who feels like the having freedom is the devil, okay? Like idle hands. That freedom is the devil, like Delaware is without sales tax rendered. So someone doesn't like that because they don't think it's right. Or that 5 of freedom, change, God, and expansion. So if freedom is the devil and 5 is freedom, and 5 is also the Hierophant, which can represent God, then freedom, change, God, and expansion, they're all the devil's workshop. And yet the devil is number 6, because it's 15-6, which leads to affection. Okay? And we all know the dark side of everything. But there's a dark and a light to every aspect of our lives. We are human, and that will never leave us, okay, as long as we're in human bodies. So someone also may have gotten a tad of mace in the eye, and may have already had eye issues, expanding their lack of vision or their shadow. I was also getting someone maybe getting their mother's eye after death for a transplant. So someone with eye problems, their mother may have donated their eyes after death. So that may be happening for someone. Also, defensive rear end. So somebody might have gotten rear-ended, trying to go too fast because there was an emergency. Also being derailed. That urgency could have been for a transplant as well. Also defensive and railroaded urgently. Okay, so that can have to do with a lot of different things, but also just being derailed, so knocked off their track. A grounding aid, one eye on Ma at 5 p.m. off track, so off work or derailed. Derailed into it. Or, someone like got talked into it and they didn't really want to do it. And that can have to do with the transplant too, or the mother wanting to live with them, or having to go visit them every day, or whatever it is, or getting an aid, but the aid has to leave by 5 o'clock. So a grounding aid, one eye on Ma at 5 p.m. off track, off work, and derailed or railed into it. Okay, so that was all coming up. And rendering again, rendered and de-render and surrender were all coming up. I was just getting deuce also. That's random. So deuces came up, and Zeus is coming up with that. Okay. So with the numbers that came up in the coding here, we had the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups, the Devil and the Lovers, so the opposites here. The opposites attract. Truth, Fool, Wheel, the 4 and 9 missing, which is good luck, is the Nine of Cups, and Death also came up with the Devil. So, all right, let's get right into this. It's a lot to get through. So blueprints are definitely coming through again today. I don't usually say blueprint during the day, so that's important. We start at 117 here, and I'm going to tell you what these underlying energies are before I get started. This is the Two of Orbs, like the Two of Swords. This is the Adept of Pentacles, or Adept of Crystals in this deck. And then the Master of Orbs is there. That's like the Master of Swords. And then the two flames on the top there. So two flames floating on air, loyal servant to the King of Wands, or excuse me, the King of Swords, twins. 7 steps, Ma's stairway to heaven, right? The way to get into heaven. A tad late, Addie or Aid, Tad, so some of these names might come up, and Tardy for the party came up. Ma is a hot toddy, is what I was getting. Frustrated, getting over loss and regret of stealing away, running away just to grieve it. Clearly not working, or stubborn, or refusing to move or work, or just being still, the King of Swords reversed in a program for stealing, cheating, or driving without a license. I was just getting driving Miss Daisy, so that could definitely be driving their mother around, or driving without a license. Being hunted by the High Priestess and the Queen of Cups, or the Hound Dog, or running from himself. Now the past is catching up with him. Happy alone, hiding, not sharing at present, waiting for the Queen of Cups or the High Priestess to come rescue him. The wizard behind the curtain again, a shell of a Popeye or a Popeye with olive Viking head, with olives on the brain, salt and pepper Italian, pillar of the community, with Queen of Cups hanging over her head. Italian Jew, horny bull or fish, fishy olive oil, salty peppery dish. The green-purple, the third eye hook, who never strays from the Torah or cross or Viking hook, and her one-eyed pirate. So that could be a reference to how the masculine and the karmic had referred to each other, which actually that's where I cried. But it can be other things as well. And then I was getting aye aye matey. Okay, so she's the captain of the ship, and she goes down with the crew. The Queen of Cups above her waiting, hearing and seeing things. A space case, speaking through his rod while he keeps on truckin', to never quite catch up with his twin, a different kind of flame than him. Looking out the window or the porch onto his loyal servants. The marriage ranks top, the servitude. Walking away from all that to find one little piece? Well, he's too impatient for all that. Taurus, Sagittarius, too impatient to go within. Twin brothers are balding, Y chromosomes, don't fall far from the tree, eclipsed into orbit as the Taurus gets more schooling, another degree perhaps, or to be a monk or a rabbi, or run the synagogue, or cardinal sinner. I ain't no angel. He's the fallen kind. Reconciliation came up here, and beneath that was keep open mind. With his own kind. Okay, so he's like, he's being his own devil's advocate here, right? So he's the fallen kind. He reconciles with his own kind, or impatient to walk away from almost perfect. Taurus, one of 2 boys, and possibly a fallen sister, or actually someone who may have jumped. Reconciling with her master. 2 Y's and 1 X. Y times Y plus X, no matter how you see it, is an X, no matter how you put it. 5 hot toddies and crown jewels, fallen angel. Drinking holds him up or provides a foundation. An enabler, the 5, the Hierophant, the church, welcomes all sinners. Come, be a victim, and we'll take care of you, even when you steal the crown jewels, or the crown Jew. Hierophant leaves the church or synagogue, mosque, or whatever, can never return forever, is then exiled. Cross keys, cross purposes, a race for the throne. Grand Master puppet, going to a monastery to live. All right, so these are maybe some of the thoughts some of the masculines have gone through, and some of them may be doing. It's 155, which is the Magician, and the Ace of Swords, the Truth. So reconciling with oneself, meeting your master, And we went from 55 to 56, which is getting clarity here, needing more information, right? Meeting with oneself, meeting your master. It's a long way down after such a long, arduous climb. Gave him an education if he'd take over the family business. 10 swords outwardly betrayed the corset, or the core set of values, for 2 spoons of BS, spoon-fed whatever he wants to hear, icky sweet, cheap treats, fake, in other words. I will be your trophy wife, will cook and clean and wipe and service you too. Oops, you dribbled a bit. I'll wipe that too, or clean you up. Nothing wrong with that if you're incapacitated or a child under 10. If not, that's called mail order bride, pay for service, pay for sex, or pay as you go. I don't really like you, but happy to take my aggressions out on you. I'll pay you later today, or vice versa. Or a perfect body. I can ignore the face, no problem. Or a perfect face, at least there's a hole, or doesn't do a thing for you, but at least you don't have to live alone. Mom's there when I get home to fix my messes for me. Pain, betrayal, bleeding out for the company of a good spouse. Injustice. In the end, waiting to divorce. Of course she got you to wait 20 years. For alimony, of course. Cross purposes, too far out from the family trunk. The treasure chest of dreams, if close enough to the main guy or gal. Out on a limb where all the leaves are, branches get thin and break off easily. Not even good for settling your ankles upon, like a footrest. It's too risky and thin. The branch is brittle and will break in the end. Beauty is not all it's cracked up to be if it falls to the ground and dies. Having sex outside is a better risk. At least you get something worthwhile out of it. Or incestuous. Didn't know her line was that close to mine. That may work in some cultures and societies, but what will mainstream society say? All about appearances now. Be careful what you say. Could get twisted around a million different ways. A mess with our stability. And so the twisting around a million ways could then mess with your stability. Then down by the waterside, she never got up. I'm not your real father, so I have to go now. Or I had you during an affair. And I don't love your mom, but I paid for you all these years, so be grateful. Sex on the swing or sex on the beach to wash away all the hurtful things you've said and done to others in the name of superficial sex. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, so that was coming up. Or, no, I've never done that. I'm pure of mind, body, and spirit. Or I just watch porn if I need to. It's not real. No, it's just your daughter kidnapped and sex trafficked right into your local TV station. Just watching, not hurting anyone. So I tie her up. And I smack her around now and then. Or she does that to me. Tied a rope around her wrists many times around, or handcuffed to the bed, playing with toys that were used to hang people with, to torture, and cut off their fingers. Pulling hair right out of your head. Is that what you taught your daughter about love? What is said? Truth be told, oh, we're not speaking of truth. The justice card is reversed, I forgot. If she decides to kill herself, oh well, I can get sex anywhere, or at least she won't be bothering me anymore. Where is the love, the love, where is the love? So that was coming up multiple times. Rejection, abandonment, humiliation, betrayal, injustice, shame and guilt. Have you experienced any of these? Any of those from childhood and old age wounds? As I said, now, just what I said. Don't push them back down. Swish them around. Allow the subconscious to emerge to your consciousness for releasing, and thus releasing the pattern for you and your children. Heal yourself, if not for you, so your children won't draw that experience into their energy field. So then forgiveness comes up, which is 96. And underneath that was self-love, 61, which is about taking a risk to love yourself first and forgive yourself as well. Where is the love? The love. So that came up again. Feelings, you may be feeling a lot of sexual energy coming through these days as well. Allow that to trigger you, to allow the release. Allow it to come up to your consciousness so that you can release the wounds associated with each event. Sneakiness and half-truths, and then escape route, a quick exit, Jack or JFK in the box, limp devil, horny cowboys, red eyes, rubies, rupees, and rubles, from flight, where were you all night? Why are the famous and the politicians still glorified for being good-looking cheats with good politics? The war outside of us starts within, starts with how we view ourselves, our wives, our husbands, and our children. A philanderer makes peace with other philandering countries. It's just energy, guys. It takes one to know one. One body, one love. If your toe acts up, do you chop it off? No, you give it lots of attention until it learns to be one with your body again. Every body is the same naturally. Human bodies, governmental bodies, heavenly bodies. And magician, embodiment. Getting everybody on board. The love train, okay, so that's coming up again. Coming clean to think outside Jack's box. The clean white sandbox to befriend your devilish cowboy neighbor with the Italian horn and red Russian boots background, making up for his lack of sex drive or overdrive by overcompensating with bigger-than-life performance every time. Justice is blind, money is up for grabs, the fight for the riches, yet the smart get educated. And that was at 247, or excuse me, 257. That's the High Priestess and the Three of Swords. The top of that page was 227, which is the High Priestess and the Ace of Wands, which was reversed today. The only ace that was upright in this read today was the Ace of Pentacles, which good for us it was. So again, justice is blind, money is up for grabs, the fight for the riches, yet the smart get educated to be elite and compete. Now the peacock finally getting the attention and respect they deserve. The pride of the family, the rich, the famous, the genius. But who are the most genuinely happy people that you meet in the world? Maybe our world should be run by the blind, dumb, and meek. Chariots of fire to make a change with minimum pain. See no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil. Then there's no evil. Why do we try so hard? Resist, force, push, slave, stress, and anxiety instead of excitement. A good workout, a labor of love. It is not up to you to fix another without their permission statement. Permission entrance allowance. Don't you know the universe, nature, corrects all imbalances naturally with trust and patience. If we all heal ourselves, we don't even need patience anymore, because there won't be any. Fear, untruth, abuse, neglect, always creates a domino effect. The scared, the limp, the anxious and stressed and overpumped, ready to explode and be laid to rest. Smack in the middle is green, the heart of the matter. You matter, the temple you reside in. Temples in all, the colors of the rainbow, something for each of us to fall in love with and be loved by. At 310, that's the Empress, Gaia, and 10 of the Wheel of Fortune. There's enough for everyone. The Queen of Pentacles of green, purple, and gold, and peacock feathered eyes, all sorts of blues, greens, and browns, and even yellow. 2 flames under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Riding bareback or fully clothed, or parading for the show. A passion for everyone, impatience too. Fallen angels without a stable home. Their heart, that is. It was not free to roam. And that's where forgiveness comes in, because forgiveness is self-love. So before I go into the recently part, I'm going to take you around the board here. We're just getting started, guys. All right, so we have the 2 flames there in the underlying energy, okay, along along with that Knight of Wands, and he was upright. The only knight that was upright today. It was like there was only one of each one, and they were each in a different position today. It was very interesting. The recent past was that Five of Chalices or Five of Cups. That was reversed energy. The foundation here is that Ace of Pentacles, hard to see, right? But you got the Empress under there with that crystal caves coming up just now, and the Devil's reversed. You see him? He's sneaky. He's right there. And then we have the center of the reed, which is, you can barely see that too because my cards have now moved. But that's Batman there, walking away from you. Okay, so that's them walking away in the center of the reed. The Eight of Cups was reversed energy, but I believe. I could be wrong on that. I'll have to double check on that. But that's the center of the reed, challenged by the devil, or the shadow, which is reversed in the reed. And then coming up here is more underlying energy, all right? You see the Peacock and the Queen of Pentacles. The crowning energy here is the Adept of Orbs, or Swords. Okay, and that's like the 5D messages. Bridging across here, and don't forget your dental work. In the near future is Five of Crystals. Okay, that was upright today. Then we have the Master. Now he sees himself as that Three of Cups, which is upright also, and all those beautiful Romance Angel cards. Then we have what's around him, which is the Six of Pentacles. So you can't see it very well. You can only see that side of it, which is the feminine. The other side had money on it, so it's just her showing right now. Good thing. Then we go up to the blocks he needs to clear with that Page of Pentacles, the only page that's upright. And the numerology card at the end of the read is the Ten of Pentacles upright, the Tower reversed, the Emperor, which is called Reason in this deck, which came up a couple of different times, and then the Seven of Wands, which is rising up above the flames and the drama to tango as we get the rest of the read. And those are all the cards right there. I'm going to get right back into it now. I'll show you some of the rest of the board so we can see more of the cards. Let's see how. Sorry about that. Okay. And before I start up again too, I'm going to tell you about the different signs and the suits, or the court cards. The Emperor was reversed today, but the Empress was upright. Yeah, he was reversed and she was upright. Aces, the only one that was upright was the Ace of Pentacles. Of the Kings, the only one that was upright was the King of Cups, unconditional love. Of the Queens, the only one that was reversed was the Queen of Swords. All right, so there's always an odd man out today in each of the categories. Of the Knights, the only one that was upright was the Knight of Wands. And the Pages, the only page was the Page of Pentacles that was upright. The ones that were upright and reversed, right, so say upright and reversed, it means that there's two people, or they're showing both the positive and the negative energies of that sign. So the ones that were both upright and reversed were Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, Virgo, Cancer, Scorpio, and just upright were Taurus, Pisces, Libra, and Gemini. The ones that were just reversed, let's see here, Capricorn, and I think that was it. That was only reversed, was just Capricorn. Let me just double check. Oh, Aquarius. Aquarius and Capricorn were both reversed. That was it. Okay. So getting back to the green here, recently is that Five of Cups. Getting over grief, loss, sadness, shame, guilt, and regret. Not letting go of the third baton to complete the race, because there is no race, but the human oneness. And change, and change, and change. There is a season of change. Okay, so the season and the reason we're coming up. There is no competition to win, just lack of inspiration, frustration that blocks your flow, a new life offered, sovereign holding their tongue, offering a gold coin, the collective consciousness. Remember that splitting is multiplying. It's what cells naturally do. It takes chills and losing control to be electrifying. I got chills. They're multiplying. So that was definitely coming up within that little blurb there. As we turn the page, you better give up, because I need a man, and my heart is set on you. Better give up, or in other words, surrender. You better understand, to my heart I must be true. That was at 326. 3 is the Empress, nature, Mother Gaia, Earth. And then 26 is the Page of Wands. This is the masked boy with the burning desire, right? So it's just like in Greece here, right? The good mother and the bad boy. You are the one that I want. Ooh, ooh, ooh. All right, so the foundation is the Ace of Pentacles, upright. Completion of the sealed divine feminine into new life without a word, and detox for the Empress. Centrally is the Eight of Cups. Batman walking away and within. The Queen of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles coming out to separate corners, one studying and sitting pretty, and the other hanging and looking at all angles. Both hermits, earthy, energy, and grounded. Cutting through the BS to drive, move, travel, or to move or go to another's house to get them to move out. The Queen of Wands moving after she sees a new side of the divine masculine fool who is now standing in his truth. Floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee. You know I can outweight you and outstare you down as well, so don't even try it. Those crocodile tears, save them for the next one. La 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 la. As he goes skipping away. Next thing you know, the Knight of Wands comes racing in to get his wish. The challenge being the shadow, detox and all, pain, betrayal, and bleeding out of the Queen of Swords reversed, with Lion sticking their big old butt out in the way of us coming together. Depression, loss of hope, overworking to save a nest egg, injustice, divorces, and the ultimate abandonment of self, void, destitution. Let's go back a little bit. Void, the surrender, the fire under your butt that fuels your passions. Now we're getting somewhere. Jealousy and sincerity, and not feeling like being a loving person. Arrogance is not your wish. There's a creepy Hierophant here, master controller of those Y chromosomes. Ended battle and no longer flirting with disaster. Heartbreak and separation aside from this, read. Division is required to get his junk back in the trunk. Going crazy to get his hands on you. The King of Wands reversed is exhausted, but it's worth it to hold you in his arms. Being chivalrous and all, putting it all on the line for you. Now crowning is the Knight of Swords reversed, still wounded from battle. And that could be, DE was coming up again here, so it could be Delaware or something else. It could be a nickname of D. But the Knight of Swords reversed, still wounded from battle in the retrograde energies. The King of Cups, Magician, got all his ducks in a row, finally. To surrender. Hands down, I give up. But I just wanted to show you my DNA strand. Holding on to save up for a car or a trip or just chaos all around, and depressed about Queen of Pentacles and her peacock eyes to match his pop eye. Getting over stress and purges of the divine feminine and legacy. Dropping the load before someone pushes open the door while he's pooping, and needing to polish his armor all nice and shiny again so he'll feel himself again and want to offer some love and not come off arrogant. And that was at 4 o'clock. 4 is the Emperor, and with a lot of source backing him up. That's that fuel to blast him off into space. The Hierophant and the Empress had a talk about separation and third parties and depression since coming back together. Also addictions and needing detox and needing to give it a rest now. The King of Wands reversed, clearly exhausted, trying to please everyone. Soon destitute, out in the cold, destiny of awakening to lose all control. Clear on his decision to be happy with self while deliberating was a bad decision, depressing and very frustrating. Standing up for self in a big fat gold coin to offer self a new lease on life, coming out after not for a long, long time. Bloody Marys, Bloody Marys, Bloody Marys. Gotcha. So there could be somebody with their beads saying a lot of prayers. The divine masculine is seeing himself as the 3 cups, the jolly good fella, laying down his 10 rods and family cycle all for his twin. No one else but him and his shadow. The King of Wands reversed, letting go of all attachments. Playfulness came up, new love, let go of your control issues, retreat, and deception that someone is wearing a mask here. So around him, or how he is seen, is the Six of Pentacles reversed. Shy and rejected, but leading the way to express all his feelings, come what may. The King of Swords reversed, released from prison, but I wrote prism, so that is important too, since it's a prism of light. The King of Swords reversed, released from prison of inequity and debt. Also from being trapped in that prism of light. Clear blocks, masculines, of opportunity to be a student again. All right? Don't let your ego get in the way. Or be open to invitation to study psychic abilities, choosing the left in hopes that kids will follow our example. The Knight of Wands and the Knight of Cups is reversed. There may be some jealousy there, not wanting to offer their love. For the High Priestess, starting over, or a secret, or your intuition, and this time not settling for depression, getting it out and not pushing it down, surrendering, and even more so for the masculine was relationship change, physical activity, and parenting, family disconnect with the workplace, opportunity to gently make his way in around the family one at a time. Impatient King of Wands reversed, leaps into everything head first, and now with loyal friend. Not Ben, however, but Mrs. How? Family with far-reaching connections, electrifying chariots on fire, rising up to expose all injustice and greed in the world by holding our tongue within reason and walking on fire, firewalkers, to learn to tango together. That's an important dance. There's a high vibration out for the masculine to correct imbalances, to squeeze out some of the last of the juice, to put the Queen of Cups out in the cold with him until death do us never part. The Dark Knight rises for the last time. Moving on up to the east side, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. On up to the east side, finally got a piece of the pie. So that was coming up from the Jeffersons. So I don't know if the Jeffersons coming up, but it was definitely about finally getting a piece of the pie. Okay, which is center point, staying centered within your masculine and feminine. Okay, and doing the dance, the tango. Two flames, well done and well educated, starting a new life within. The sand may rust his armor and shadow vision, but coming together with nothing but family is the best thing he ever did. Within reason, he says. And the dancing, well, two flames fuel one rocket to joy and restoration hardware, overcooked inside, challenged by shadow casts and pods. 5 o'clock shadow, a good one on him, liking what he sees, holding tongue for family. In the aftermath, within reason again, but if it gets too hot, that tango, I will have to say, ouch. Okay, so that's your read. It's 43.35. Or maybe I can pull a summary card. So I hope you like that because it was pretty special. And here we go. Take a deep breath, you guys. It is July 26, 2019. For everyone watching, the best and highest good of all those concerned. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? And Joshua, what would you like to tell us today? What do we need to learn? Take another deep breath, guys. Okay. What do we need to know? It's just 44.19, which is mastering, grounding, and integrating. That 4 of Cups and the 19 of the Sun. Okay, mastering, grounding, and integrating your masculine as he comes shining in. patience, lots of patience. As I said, that truth. All right, so truth shall set you free always. Be patient. Okay, that's for both of you. In the world, sealed divine feminine, coming full circle, being complete. You complete me. That's the truth, the honest truth. Yeah, can't get better than that, all right? There's your love, served on a silver platter, or rather a gold one. New truth, new love, triumph, and joyful coming together. Wow. Okay. The Knight of Wands may not be a top performance. He may be a little bit tired, and he may have really good intentions about rushing in, but he might fall short because he's just been through a lot. He's really tired, so give him a break. You might want to cuddle. Makes him very happy. And this means, you know, you need to be still and not stubborn, okay? Because there's more purges to come, and it's all good. When you need to, just be still, not stubborn. Don't resist. Just allow. It's okay to be still, but don't be stubborn and resist the purge. Allow it to come is what it's telling you, okay? And this is especially for the masculines who were taught not to cry. It's okay. Let it all out. Even with your feminine, it's a perfect way to bond, okay? And these two are coming out together too. They're sticking a little bit. Look at that, more majors, right? Upright. All right, so there's the wise man and the chariot coming forward, right? Coming forward to hang out and see new perspectives in full power. In full power. Ascending to new heights. Letting some of the blood rush back to your head. They're pretty funny. Here you go. Shedding light for each other. I'll hold it for you, and then you hold it for me. Sun. I mean, you can't make this up. You can't have this many majors in a row all upright and so positive like that. It's crazy, okay? And then one after another. Now you have the Nine of Pentacles. You're both sovereign. Oh, no, you're not. One of you is sovereign. One of you is the Dark Knight. He's Batman. I love that. Go into a peaceful place. Full transformation. Full circle. Okay? So let's leave it at that. Okay, there'll be things that come up, there'll be more injustices, more juggling and dancing to do, but you're creating new patterns and allowing yourself to fall on your face, okay? Over and over and over again, okay? That's part of the divine marriage, is allowing yourself to fall on your face and feel fine about it. Be okay with being an imperfect human, all right? Remember, it's not a race. It's about human, we're the human oneness, not the human race, okay? And she wants to come up to Queen of Cups, recovering, along with the impatient one, impatient angel, okay? He's still making a joke that he's the fallen angel, right? But you'll work through all that, and that's all good and coming together to co-create, okay? So I really am going to stop now. He's out of control. He's letting his ego die. The bottom of the deck is the Seven of Swords, okay, the runner. That could be running out to get things for you, right? Because he's tired, okay, feeling rejected or shy, needing a little mothering, which is okay, okay? Back and forth. You share between yourselves, you know, when one's more down, you know, you help each other out. That's what we do, right? There we go. Got the Lover's card and the Wounded Warrior before that. He looks a little different now. All right, that's your underlying energy. Don't be afraid of taking the risk. Drink your water. Get your rest. Be joyful in coming together. All right? Know your worth and be happy. Rise and be love, you guys. I love you guys. Bye.